They say that success in real estate is about three things: location, location, location. And I think retirement's about three things: planning, preparing, and practicing. How do I know this? Because I've been a financial advisor for 20 years and I've talked to hundreds of retirees. What's worked, I've seen what's worked, I've seen people that have struggled. And in today's video, I'm going to go over some of the most important tips that recent retirees would give to soon to be retirees. So let's go for a walk and let's talk about it. You know, the first one is, you know, we're all wondering what it's going to feel like to be retired, right? We've been working for 20, 30, 40 plus years, and we don't know. You know, at one point we were students and we weren't retired, but it was a very different life than being a worker. And now we've been working so long, we kind of wonder what it's going to feel like not to work. Some of us think it's going to feel like vacation. You know, retirees would say it's going to feel like vacation for 1 to, you know, at most 3 months. And then that feeling's going to wear off. And you have to be careful because it's natural for you to kind of go through an emotional down once that feeling of vacation is over. So that's the first point. The second one is just the importance of relationships. You know, relationships are what makes retirement joyful and gives meaning and purpose. Relationships are key. A lot of people would say relationships are everything. That is the heart and soul of their retirement. Also for people that have a partner, a life partner, whether you're married or not, just making sure that you and your partner are on the same page as to what retirement looks like. Both if the two of you are working, right, you're both going to be going through big life changes. If one of you is working and the other one has been working outside of an office, outside of an official job, you know, it's still going to be a big adjustment for both of you. And so thinking through what does retirement look like? What are you hoping it'll look like? And, you know, what are your concerns and how do you want to spend your time in your day? And, you know, how much time do you want to spend together? You know, when one spouse or both spouses are working, you know, you're probably at most spending 3 or 4 hours a day together. Well, during retirement, you know, you have the option, if you wanted, to spend 24/7. Most retirees don't want to do that, but just getting on the same page is really important. Another point that retirees will say is very few of them wish that they had waited longer to retire. Most would say, I wish I had done it sooner. You know, if you're 60 years old, unfortunately, you know, there's lifespan and then there's health span. If you're 60 years old, unfortunately, you likely have less than 1,000 weeks remaining of healthy active living. That's not a lot of time. And so very few retirees report to me, gee, I wish I had waited to retire. So that's another important point. The other, you know, I started off saying, you know, successful retirement is about planning, preparing, and practicing. And here, you know, retirees would say it's important to have a plan and to monitor that plan fairly frequently. And that doesn't mean every week, but like once a year. Look and see how you're doing compared to your plan financially, as well as revisiting your goals and what you were hoping to achieve in retirement. Because like a lot of things, you know, if you're off by 1 degree for 100 feet, 1 degree is not going to make a big difference. But if you're off by 1 degree for 100 miles, that's going to make a big difference. So just plan and then follow up on the plan. The follow up is really important. And then the other thing is, you know, I've got my selection set. The retirees I talk to, most of the retirees I talk to are using a financial advisor, right? They're using me as their financial advisor. And so they would say it's important to have a financial advisor, but it's also really important to get advice directly from retirees on your own, right? And I think there's a lot to be said. You know, the nice thing on YouTube is you have folks like myself that's a professional financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice in these videos. This is for education. This is to put things on your radar screen so that you can look into it further. You can do your own research. You can decide whether you want to work with a financial advisor or not. But the financial advisor has one perspective on life, and I get to see hundreds of retirees, but it's also important for you to talk directly to the retirees, people that have retired before you, to find out what works, what they wish that they had done differently. Okay, and on YouTube, you have people like myself, and then you also have recent retirees or people that have been retired for a while that are sharing their experience as well. So I encourage you to not just watch my channel, but to watch these other channels in addition to your own conversations with recent retirees. Okay, the next couple ones fall under what I call the practice, right? Remember I said plan, prepare, and then practice. And so the first one is, you know, if you think you're going to live off of X dollars a year, I'm just going to make up a number, let's say $75,000 a year. You know, before you actually retire, I think it's super important to try living on that and to see what it feels like. Because if it feels unnecessarily sacrificial to you, frankly, a lot of people would say, okay, I want to be able to spend more money in retirement, so I'm going to keep working a few more years. It's better to find that out now while you're still working than after you retire, because oftentimes for us, you know, it's kind of a one-way door out of the company. We can leave, and the company hopefully the company wants us to stay, but you know, after you've left and they've got your replacement trained, it's going to be really hard to come back into that position. So you want to make sure that you practice living on the lifestyle that you think you're going to want to retire to. Okay, I've got another practice, but before I get there, I want you to practice hitting the like button for me. It really does help the YouTube algorithm promote my videos to other people that hopefully I can help. So hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoy my videos and the topics that I talk about, and think about leaving me a comment. I love reading your comments. It's kind of the currency for me of all this. Okay. So the next practice is practicing how you're going to spend your time. You know, if you think, okay, you've got all this time. Do you want to do service? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to go on trips? You know, do you want to travel around the world? Do you want to maybe sell your house and live this adventure? Or do you want to maybe be a coach for the volleyball team at high school, or get involved in your church? Whatever you think you want to do, try to practice that as much as you can before retirement. In an ideal world, you'd be able to take a month off of work, 3 months off of work, kind of a sabbatical type thing, and do what I call is a mini retirement. Try it out, see if you like it. Certainly with travel, I can tell you for most people, that's the most common answer I get. The two most common answers I get when I, ask people, what do you want to do in retirement? The most common answers is I want to travel and I want to spend time with my grandkids, both of which are great answers, but they can also be default answers. So I want you to think about actually trying that out and seeing if it works for you. Maybe take care of your grandkids for your adult children for a couple weeks and see what that feels like. Maybe if you can get time off of work, go on a trip and be gone for a month and see what that feels like. Again, practice. We want to plan, we want to prepare, and then we want to practice. And then we also want to be cognizant of and hopefully avoid what I call the one more year syndrome. When we're close to retiring and we go in and we talk to our company about transitioning out, it's really easy for the company to kind of stroke our ego and say, hey, we want you to stay. How about you work one more year? Maybe we'll give you a raise. Maybe there's a special bonus. Or maybe you consult for us. You come back and you consult for us. But, at some point, I think it's healthy to make that break and to begin this next chapter of your life. Otherwise you risk you risk not taking full advantage of the youth of your senior years. So just be careful of that. And then, of course, a really important one is your health. Just investing in your health and taking care of yourself. Once our health is gone, you know, the joy and the fun of retirement is going to be throttled back. So do what you can to take care of your health. Another super important thing is keep watching videos like this for information like this. If you enjoyed today's video, I know you're going to like this video up here, which talks about the average income for retirees, and this video down here that talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can.